I am a huge thrifter, and one of my absolute favorite items to thrift is actually vintage interior design coffee table books. There is something just so nostalgic about leafing through these images and grabbing inspiration that honestly still rings true today. So I thought it'd be really fun to leaf through these books and find what design images we absolutely love and how we could achieve them in a little bit more modern take for today, and what images here can really stay in the past that we do not have to revive. So this first book actually inspired today's outfit choice, and it's Decorating with Tiles by Roslyn Segel. This book is basically an ode to tile. It honestly has everything. Checkerboard floors to wall-to-ceiling tiles and some absolutely dizzying backsplash tile. So the first bathroom I actually want to point out has these hand-painted seashore tiles. I feel like growing up in the 90s, I definitely saw a few bathrooms in my day that had tiles like these, and it's definitely been out of style for quite some time now. However, I was scrolling Pinterest the other day and this image popped up and I absolutely loved it. I think this is such a cute way to add some life and personality to your bathroom. It's definitely not a look that's for everybody, but I do think if you want kind of just that cutesy aesthetic in your space, using a really unique hand-painted tile like this is a great way to do it. And it's almost like adding art to each individual tile in your bathroom. And if fish and birds and plants isn't quite your taste when it comes to tile, I've seen some really fun ones with small star patterns as well, and it definitely gives you that same effect. Next up is this kitchen that has these really cute little hearts added to the backsplash. This actually reminded me of that influencer. Her name is Yolanda Diaz. She DIY'd her own backsplash tile in her house, and she added these cute little bees and some flowers. I'll try and pull some images up to show you guys here. I feel like in the 80s and 90s, we saw a lot more of these really interesting type backsplashes, and I do love the idea of this coming back into style where you're really curating what's going on in the backsplash tile of your kitchen, because at the end of the day, your backsplash tile really is kind of a focal point for people when they walk into that room. Ooh, okay, another image that I absolutely love is this one here that has kind of a lattice tile going on in the bathroom, or a stripe. I have been seeing so many inspiration images on Pinterest by doing either a horizontal or a vertical stripe with tile when it comes to tiling your tub or your shower. The reason I love this so much is it really does give kind of that wallpaper effect in these tiled areas. And I just think, especially if you're planning on doing like just a classic subway or just a very basic tile, by using two different colors, it's giving you just such a more playful look than a very boring and basic subway tile. I absolutely love the idea of a tiled vent hood, and I do love this image because honestly there's tile going on everywhere, and it's coordinating tile, so you can tell that all of these tiles are from the same collection or from the same family. And I specifically really like the application on the vent hood because there's kind of a feature tile that's going around the border of the vent hood and along the bottom, and I think it's just so well done. And this is something we're seeing a lot of today, especially with a Zalige tile going around your vent hood surround. I think it's just such a fun way of taking the focal point of your backsplash and bringing it up into another wall application on your vent hood. Now, while we often see this in more of a handmade tile or just something that's a little bit more neutral, I would love to see this coming back with more intricate designs or maybe some hand-painted details. Again, your vent hood is usually just a major focal point in your kitchen, and I think it's a really beautiful item to highlight. And I'm not gonna lie, I actually really love all of the images in this book. If I was to highlight one trend from this book that I'm really happy has not resurfaced, it is the idea of tiling your bathroom like a public pool. For a while, I feel like jetted tubs and kind of like levels and tiled layers and ledges in your bathroom was a really big look, especially in just one very generic color. I never liked this. I feel like it really does give your home the feeling of like a public pool or like some sort of a budget spa. So I'm really happy this trend hasn't really resurfaced. And I don't know if you were planning on using this type of tile application in your home, maybe don't. It is pretty dated and there are just so many more beautiful ways of using tile in your home nowadays. All right, the next book, and honestly my favorite cover of all time, is this one here. It's Tricia Guild's new soft furnishings. It used to have a cover on it, and actually the cover was really nice as well. But I just thought, why would you cover up such a beautiful pattern that's already on the book? So this book is actually a maximalist's dream. She does not hold back on color and pattern. There's just so many ideas in this book for textiles, from toss cushions to draperies. There's even different sewing guides in this book as well, if that's something you're interested in. One of my absolute favorite trends from this book is actually mixing and matching lots of different patterns when it comes to your fabrics. And I'm so excited because this is actually coming back in a big way in interiors. Whether it's mixing fabrics on your toss cushions or even on your soft seating, another fun application for this is also in your bedding. I think it's just so great when you're having a mix of florals and stripes and large patterns versus small patterns. It all really goes so nicely together and it just adds so much interest in your home. This image I love because it is honestly the small touches that make such a difference in making your home feel super custom. This one I love because you can see it's using the exact same fabric on the drapes for the lampshade, and same thing with the bed canopy to the bedding. Again, with lots of professionally designed homes and interiors, you see this a lot, but it's not something you generally can achieve in your home unless you're going out and making your own custom draperies and bedding. But I definitely think this is a fun touch. If you have the eye or you have the time to do this in your home, it is such a cool way of making it feel super custom and unique. And another trend I really love is the idea of making a nursery or a kid's room just super cute and nostalgic. I feel like nowadays we see so many nurseries that are just so bland and neutral, and it just really has no life or personality. So I absolutely love the idea of just layering a kid's room with lots of color and pattern and just fun little nods to the playful nature of decorating a child's room. And I will note one theme throughout the book is actually the sewing guides for making your own DIY items. This is one thing. I'm just somebody who does not really take the time to custom sew anything. I do have a sewing machine. My grandmother was a quilter. My mom loves to sew. It's just not something that has trickled down into my personal genes. So this is one item. I feel like there are just so many skilled creators on Etsy that you really could find some of these beautiful items handmade, and you don't necessarily always have to commit to trying to sew them yourself. And next we have Vogue Entertaining. This was actually my latest thrift score. I saw it sitting on the shelf, and generally when I see any kind of like big name brand, like typically I wouldn't go for a Vogue book, but just the fact that it was vintage and it was the Entertaining collection, I did think this would be just a really cute addition to my collection. I feel like hosting dinner parties is making a comeback. It is just so much fun if you are somebody who loves interiors and loves decor. This is just one area of your home. You can slowly collect stemware and tableware, and it's just so fun to have people over so you can show off and actually use these items. This book actually has some great inspiration when it comes to tablescapes. The idea of using fresh flowers and crystal glasses is absolutely timeless, and you just never could go wrong when you're using these items. I also think there's just some great inspiration on how you could actually use some of your more thrifted, like vintage or antique table setting items. Now, while I absolutely love the classic take that this book provides, I do think there are some great ways that you could actually modernize some of these table setting techniques. One of them is actually with mix and match table settings. By using different colors of glassware and even different patterns on your plates, this is just a really fun way to add some personality to your table settings. It's just so fun when you can look at somebody's set table and you really get a sense of their personality and who they are, and it really feels like curated and collected over their lifetime. And the last book we'll be covering is The Ultimate House Book by Terence Conran, and this book honestly covers everything from room layout to furniture and even materials. I actually really love the images in this book that really inspire the use of color. I feel like this is, again, something in modern times that we've seen just a very big push to neutrals and grays and beiges, and just having that pop of color or that punch of color in your home can add so much life and personality. And I really love how bold some of these colors are in these images. And I will say I do find myself saving a lot more interiors like this nowadays that has just very vibrant punches of colors, or rooms that are just fully drenched in one tone from walls all the way to the ceiling. I have mentioned this in past videos, but I just feel like open storage in your kitchen is so necessary to show off your personality, especially because your kitchen is usually just a very blank space, especially if you have all closed cabinetry and you don't have a whole lot going on your countertop. I just think by having some floating shelves or some open storage solutions, it gives you the ability to actually show off pieces that you've collected in your lifetime or just items that you really want to put out on display. And two pages that I actually really love in this book is one that covers different metal types and the other that covers different wood tones. These are two items that are just super important, especially when you're layering different textures and materials in your space. And being able to identify multiple different species of woods or a few different types of metals just makes it so much easier when you're going out and you're sourcing different furniture pieces in your home. Now, there's not a whole lot I would deem outdated when it comes to this book, but one theme I did find is kind of that ultra modern aesthetic. Now, while I am a fan of this style, especially when it's done correctly or it matches the architectural style of your home, I am somebody who just firmly believes in layering multiple design styles, and I really truly feel like an eclectic home is one that feels a little bit more timeless and definitely warmer than just an ultra modern space. All right, and now it's your turn to let me know in the comments which one of these books was your favorite, and is there any themes or items that I've highlighted as modern that you really think should not resurface in the design world? And of course, if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.